watching the UFC Fight Night and the boxing card in Tijuana simultaneously. So right now, on the UFC card, we just had Navajo Sterling defeat a fellow with the last name Tukos, I think. And it went to decision for Sterling. Stirling. Looks like he's from Australia or New Zealand. Sorry if I got that wrong. And on the boxing side, we have, I can't say this fellow's name. Eastern European, I believe, versus a fellow from Mexico in the ring right now. This is on the undercard of the Jaime Munguia fight, and the UFC, of course, is being headlined by Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. So, two folks that commented on my short said that they're rooting for Buckley. One person said anybody but Colby, which it's kind of funny. But okay, so in the ring, boxing ring, we have Jorge Garcia, and he's facing this fellow, I believe, is from Eastern Europe. I will attempt to say his name once they put it back on the screen. UFC is taking place in Tampa, Florida. They just cut to Mark Coleman, the former fighter who risked his life to save, I think it was his parents, in a fire. They just flashed to him in the crowd, I believe, with his two daughters. All right, so in the boxing ring, the two fighters are getting the instructions from the ref, who's got a beard not quite as long as Beltran's. And now the two boxers heading back to the corner. On the UFC side, we are cutting to Daniel Marcos warming up in back. And he will be facing Adrian Yanez, who's also warming up in the back. Both UFC fighters doing mitts with their respective coaches. Right. Round one of this match between Garcia and Abdukadrov. Sorry, I know I totally butchered his last name. Is underway. First round. Garcia just maintaining this high double guard and then winging wide hooks to the body of his opponent. The Eastern European fellow is level changing well. He's throwing more power shots in body and head. He's holding his hands more at shoulder height, whereas the Mexican fellow is a little long and lanky. Seems to prefer that double high guard. And the Eastern European guy is switching back and forth a little bit between righty and lefty. Starting out, plenty of action this first round. Eastern European guy's jab is penetrating the Mexican guy's double high guard. We just nailed a nice jab and then right hand right behind his jab. Now he's landing hard left out of southpaw stance. So I wonder if this Eastern European fellow has like a kickboxing background, because he just likes to constantly switch from righty to lefty. Lands another good right hand. Eastern European fellow switches right to into left stance, throws a hard straight left. Now, I hate to say it, but neither one of these boxers seems to have a really great set of. I just don't really like either one of their footwork. The The Garcia is a little bit plotting. Now he can get away with that because he's a little bit taller, a little bit lankier, so he knows he has a reach advantage. He's now starting to use that a little bit more, starting to throw out a long jab. Nice long jab from Garcia. His opponent answers right back with a jab and straight left. Now he switches back to right stance. And that's the round. Now, I would give it to the Eastern European fellow just because he was landing more hard power shots. I think Garcia was just trying to use that first round to get a measure of distance. And he was successful with his longer jab. Hello, El Gator. Yes, I could say hi to your friend, Ice Socks Diggs. Hi, Kendra Sweet. I'm doing well. How are you doing? So I'm watching both boxing and UFC simultaneously here. Maybe somebody can help me figure out how to pronounce this Eastern European guy's name. Okay, now he has on his trunks, on the back of his trunks, he calls himself the Punisher. So I'm just gonna call him that because I definitely can't say his last name. How are you guys doing tonight? Are you guys watching fights? What are you guys up to? Okay, so we're on commercial break with the UFC card, and we're about to start the second round of the boxing fight. Okay, so we got Punisher fighting out of orthodox now. Of course, Jorge Garcia is staying in his right-handed stance. Double high guard from Garcia, double jab to the right hand from Garcia. Punisher keeps switching. Now he's in southpaw. Goes for a hard jab. Now he switches back to righty. Double hard jab right to the body. It was a tad low, so the men touch gloves in acknowledgement of that. Garcia now starting to get the distance from the Punisher, so he steps back and then comes back with a counter uppercut, counter body shots to the Punisher. Punisher now out of lefty stance, kind of starting to mirror Garcia a little bit with a double high guard. Garcia catches Punisher with a good counter shot coming in, right to the head. Punisher double jab to the head, right to the body. Garcia got that double high guard up, trying to still just get a measure from the Punisher. And he steps back, comes up back with a nice short little counter right or uppercut, left hook. Yeah, I think Garcia is starting to get a better read on the Punisher at this point. Double jab from the Punisher, more of a pawing push jab. Then comes swinging with a big overhand right, which misses. Gets in a good left hook, just barely behind the gloves of Garcia. Garcia sticking with that double high guard. Using good body shifting motion to try to avoid the Punisher's punch and then come back with a right uppercut counter. Now, if Garcia is able to time his counters and really get a read on it, we could see a KO. Garcia just lands a nice counter right then. Now he's putting up the double high guard and starting to walk towards the Punisher, pushing the Punisher back a bit. Nice lead left hook from Garcia. Soraya Davis says, hi, how are you doing, Soraya? All right, we have the next fight in the cage at the UFC in Tampa. All right, now we got Punisher switching back and forth with his stances. Double jab, right hand from the Punisher. Nice long jab from Garcia. Punisher back in southpaw stance. And that's the round. I would give that round to Garcia. So now I would say we got one round for the Punisher, one round for Garcia. All right. In the UFC cage, they are announcing Adrian Yanez. Are you guys watching the fights tonight? Yeah, the hardest punch landed that round, which really knocked the Punisher's head back, was from Garcia. He landed this nice lead left hook. And we are about to start the first round in the cage. We're about to resume the boxing fight, third round in a moment. Okay, in the cage, we have both fighters, Yanez and Marcos, fighting out a righty stance. Both men with nice, responsible double guard held just at shoulder height. In the cage, both men throwing some inside leg kicks, some calf kicks, kind of feeling each other out a little bit. Boxing, we've picked up the pace here in the third round between the Punisher and Jorge Garcia. Garcia now holding both hands more at shoulder height, switching back up to the double guard, high double guard, when he anticipates the Punisher about to attack. Garcia getting a little bit cute now with his footwork. Nice little parry from Garcia. Then he steps to the side to try to counter. We're watching the boxing and the UFC fights. That's what we're here for. All right. Interesting that the Punisher, with this jab, he doesn't really use it as to penetrate Garcia's guard. He really uses it more of as a measuring stick and then tries to load up on the punch behind the jab. Garcia just staying nice and patient, kind of moving with the Punisher as the Punisher is being more mobile, moving around the perimeter. Just had a nice hard jab right hand from Marcos in the cage. Still not a lot of action from Adrian Yanez. Good jab by Marcos. Good 1-2 by Marcos. Yanez tries to counter with the left hook and throws a kick, apparently low. We've got Marcos just crouching down. The referee's called time in the action. And in the ring, we really have Jorge Garcia starting to unload on the Punisher. Yeah, I think Garcia senses that he's got the Punisher in trouble. He's really loading up now. Nice hard body shots. Punisher's just kind of posting on him, trying to keep him off of him. Punisher lands a little bit of a decent left hook, but is really just doing a lot of posting with his lead hand. We've got we just have less than 10 seconds left in this round. Oh, wow. 2 hard double body shots from Garcia. And that's the round. So definitely, that round definitely went to Garcia. So now we have Garcia up 2 rounds, 1 for the Punisher. I think Garcia knows he has the Punisher hurt, so I expect him to be very smart in his next round and set up the Punisher, maybe even stop him. Oh, my fault. Was this an eye poke in the cage? Looks like it might have been an eye poke, not a low blow. My fault. Yeah, because there seems to be a little blood in the corner of Marcos's eye, and the doctor's checking with him right now. We're just got a minute. For whatever reason, the clock is still, oh no, they're timing the timeout. So we're about 1 minute 44 seconds into the timeout between, this is in the UFC Fight Night, between Yanez and Marcos. Yeah, doctor taking a long look at Marcos. She's nodding to the referee, I guess, Everything's fine. Okay, here we are in round 4 in Tijuana in the ring. See Garcia being very patient, kind of just walking towards the Punisher. The Punisher's trying to hold his ground. Garcia taking very small measured steps. Oh, nice hard double jab to right hand. Comes back down to the body. Punisher's probably a little bit gassed at this point. Yeah, Garcia lands a nice jab. Back in the cage, we have both Yanez and Marcos doing some very sort of responsible technical kickboxing, mostly low leg kicks. A lot of feinting with the hands. Nice double jab right hand from Marcos. Nice jab to overhand right from Yanez. There's about a minute, little under 2 minutes. Yanez throws a head kick, which doesn't land. Throws a calf kick. In the ring, we've got the ref giving, I'm not sure what that was, if he just admonished the Punisher. I think that's what he did. I'm not sure for what. All right, so back in the ring, we have Garcia really landing his counter right body shot at this point. I think he's really got a read on the Punisher's timing and distance. Back in the cage, we have Marcos with Yanez up against the cage. Yanez back up against the cage. Marcos has one underhook. He just seems to be pressing on Yanez, but Yanez reverses the position, goes for a double. And now Marcos up against the cage, tries his thigh. Yanez heavy on his shoulder to press against Marcos's chest. Now he tries to throw to the head and then shoot down, level change down for a double. In the ring, the Punisher is still marching forward slowly. Okay, and in the cage, that's the round. And in the ring, that's the round. Can I show you the fight? No, I can't. It's not allowed.
It's 20 hours.
Okay, in Marco's corner, we see Cutman kind of helping him out a little bit with that left eye where I guess he got eye poked. I'm not really sure, but there's definitely a little bit of blood. I don't know if it's a scratch. All right, so we're here to talk about boxing and MMA. If you're here to talk about something else, then, you know, go on someone else's live. All right, as far as the boxing highlights go that they're showing between rounds, we're seeing some really good timing on Jorge Garcia's counter body shots. Resumes both in the ring and in the cage. And both men throwing some calf kicks, and right away Yanez shoots in. Doesn't get the takedown, but drives Marcos back towards the cage. Marcos reverses position, and now the men are starting to exchange hands again. Marcos with nice feinting with his hands, and then goes for a body kick. Yanez comes with a teep to the body. Yanez is a little bit wide with his overhand right. I think that might get him in trouble, but we'll see. Okay, so in the boxing ring, we have Garcia hunting the Punisher down. Now he's really just going for his body shots. And Jorge Garcia really has nice long reach. He knows how to use his reach advantage with body shots, the jab. At this point, not even necessarily setting things up with the jab because he's just timing the Punisher coming in and countering with that right uppercut to the body. Oh, Punisher comes back with a nice combination to Garcia's head. In the cage, we have a little bit of clinching action. Teep from Marcos. Yana is very disciplined with keeping his right hand right by his chin and being very patient, taking small measured steps. Both men throwing calf kicks at each other. One thing I don't really like about from Yanez is sometimes he really dips his head down low, but doesn't do anything. And if he's setting himself up, not a good position to be in. You know, if you're going to level change like that, you want to follow through. Nice attempted head kick from Yanez. In the boxing ring, nice long jabs from Garcia. Punisher's still in it. I think he's got a puncher's chance, as we say. Series of jabs from the Punisher, jabs from Garcia. In the cage, Yanez again trying a head kick and now a flying knee. Lots of feinting from Marcos in the cage. Feinting with his hands, that is. Then he lands a jab. Feint jab, feint jab. And that is it. That is the round in the boxing ring. I think, again, I would give that round to Jorge Garcia. Again, this fight is taking place in Tijuana. It's the undercard of Jaime Munguia. All right, thank you very much, whoever liked the stream. Everything helps. Just click that thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're interested in boxing or MMA or both. Okay, so pound for pound best is Chael Sonnen. I'm not sure best UFC fighter. Are you joking? Okay, Nash. What's up? UFC Fight Night in Tampa and boxing in Tijuana. What are you watching, Nash? All right, we're back in the cage. Starting to pick up a little bit. Both men throwing hands a little more now, with a little more vehemence. Again, I don't really like how Yanez puts his head down and then way down and then throws a punch from that position. But let's see, what do we see here? Now we have Yanez shooting for a single, but it gets kind of stuffed by Marcos. Yanez throws a flying knee, doesn't land. Marcos has great timing for the counters. All right, and that's the round in the cage. Okay, so we're still in action here in the ring. Oh, nice little side steps by Garcia. Very technical footwork from him. Again, Garcia's maintaining that high double guard, but now I think he understands how to use distance and whatnot versus the Punisher. Okay, referee admonishes the Punisher for something again. Garcia is walking towards the Punisher with a double high guard and then opens up for hard body shots. It's kind of interesting that the longer, lankier fighter is just really going straight to body shots on a shorter foe. Again, we're about to resume action in the cage in Tampa, Florida, where we have Adrian Yanez versus Marcos, I think from Peru. If you're just joining us, we're watching the boxing in TJ on the Jaime Munguia undercard, and we are watching UFC Fight Night in Tampa, Florida. Okay, as far as the boxing fight is concerned, I have Jorge Garcia up 3 rounds to 1 versus a fellow who goes by the Punisher. Garcia really starting to open up now and just walk the Punisher down and then go straight to his body shots, not even opening up with a jab. Interesting choice. Okay, in the cage, we have Adrian Yanez just got Marcos down. It almost looked more like Marcos slipped, but now Marcos is on his back right at the perpendicular to the cage. Adrian Yanez is in his full close guard. And Marcos's head is actually resting against the fence. Looks like Yanez is slowly Marcos has kind of inched his way up into a sitting position against the cage, while Marcos is trying to maintain, looks like body lock. I can't tell if he has his hands closed. Adrian has now stepped over to the side. Looks like he's going to try to get a hook in. Ref's warning him to not hold the cage. Looks like Yanez has a body lock on Marcos. He's given that up now. Marcos has stood up with his back against the cage. Looks like Yanez is going to try to persist with either trying to go for a single or double. And the round is over in the boxing ring. I think at this point, Garcia is ahead. He only maybe lost the first round. I would give the first round to the Punisher. All right, now we have Marcos reverse the position. He got Yanez down on all fours for a moment, but Yanez, now the fight resumes back on the feet, both men in the middle of the cage. Oh, and Yanez shoots for a double and gets a takedown versus Marcos. Yanez is now in Marcos' half guard. Marcos is on the bottom, but he has a guillotine grip headlock on Adrian Yanez. Yanez just has to be patient here, and I don't think that guillotine grip is much of a threat, but Adrian just has to be patient and careful. It looks like Adrian has secured Marcos' head and arm. Not quite. Okay. Right, Adrian looks like he's maintaining top position. Marcos on the bottom using his feet, has the soles of his feet placed on Yanez's hip bones. Adrian stands up for a moment and he goes back in. Attempted try from Marcos does not work now. Yanez has side control. A loose side control, but Marcos obviously knows what he's doing. Gets up. Now the fight in the cage is on the feet. Flying knee from Adrian Yanez. Both men are in a clinch against the cage. Okay, in the ring, I'm not sure what the ref is admonishing Garcia for, but he's now speaking to the Punisher. Interesting. Okay. Both men touch gloves in the ring, and the action resumes. Double jab, body shot from Garcia. He just continually kind of walking the Punisher down. Now Garcia is just opening up with really hard body shots from both hands. Punisher is throwing leather, but he just really doesn't have any answers for Garcia at this point. His power shots really aren't being that effective, but I will give him credit for continuing to throw hands. Punisher's trying to work off a jab from orthodox stance. In the cage, we now have Marcos kind of walking Adrian Yanez down as Adrian, he now has Adrian against the cage. He's got double underhooks. Adrian has had an overhook, and then the men break apart, staying on their feet. Oh, attempted head kick. Nice punch combination from Marcos, and that's the round. Yanez is raising his hands, and Marcos is kind of shaking his head. So obviously Adrian Yanez thinks he won that one. Not sure who. Marcos looks a little bit disappointed. Okay, back in the ring in Tijuana, we have Jorge Garcia starting to open up a little bit on fellow who calls himself the Punisher. I'd say at this point it's more or less every round but the first for Garcia. And that's the round. In the ring. Okay, so now we're on a break from both boxing and UFC. What are you guys watching tonight? Oh, we got 3 thumbs up. Thank you so much, guys. If anybody would like to leave a super thanks, that would be awesome. I've also enabled gifts on this channel, so if you're one of those people who's into purchasing jewels or whatever they're calling them, I think there's different types of jewels you can buy. You can buy these in bundles, and then you can use them during this live stream to show some love, or just to pick gifts or whatever that you think are that suit your personality, I suppose. All right, well, cheers. This is one of my favorite new drinks. Has nothing to do with this live stream or my channel, but I just like it. So no calories, all natural. And by the way, I think this is the best flavor. They're blood orange. Okay, so in the cage, we're going to the decision being announced by Bruce Buffer, of course. And in the ring, we are, we are in the 8th of 10 rounds with Jorge Garcia, I would say, winning. Jorge Garcia's won 7 of these 8 rounds. I would give the Punisher the first round simply for him being more active. Oh, and in the cage we have, oh yes, it looks like, is it Adrian Yanez? My fault. It is Daniel Marcos. Okay, I got the fighters confused. I kind of messed up with that one, guys. So Marcos won that fight. I reversed the guys' names. I apologize. That's my bad. Daniel Marcos from Peru. Maybe he felt like he was the underdog. I don't know. It's his longest active unbeaten streak, UFC bantamweight division. He is ranked 3rd. Okay, back in the ring. We are in the 8th round of a 10-round fight between someone who calls himself the Punisher versus Jorge Garcia. At this point, the Punisher's throwing pretty wide overhand rights. Oh, and a nice counter right uppercut from the Punisher. That's been Jorge Garcia's go-to punch in this fight. Okay, and in the replay for the UFC, they're showing a nice overhand right landing for Daniel Marcos. In the ring, we still have Jorge Garcia walking the Punisher down with a high double guard and then opening up with counter punches. Somewhat surprisingly, maybe, Garcia, because he's a taller, lankier fighter, it's a little surprising that he doesn't just stick with, using a jab, as we say, to keep the Punisher off him. he goes straight to body shots. And this one, the Punisher is saying landed a little low, so the ref's giving a break in the action. All right, are you guys watching boxing? Are you watching the UFC? Are you guys fight fans? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for the 3rd like. Guys, remember to subscribe to this channel. I do a lot of pre-fight and post-fight breakdowns. Make tons of little shorts showing my own training regimen, as well as posing questions or just presenting breaking news in the fight world to you guys for discussion. And I'll always invite you guys to comment back, give me your thoughts on the fights. Okay, so UFC Tampa, we see Vitor Patrino from Brazil warming up in the back. In the boxing ring, the ref is sending both men to the neutral corner, and the action resumes. Okay, also in UFC, we see Dustin Jacobe warming up in the back. All right, so in the boxing ring, still pretty good pace considering we are in the 8th of 10 rounds. The Punisher is still moving around the ring. He's the one kind of moving around the perimeter. Garcia is starting to punish him a little bit with short hooks. Okay, we are on commercial break from the UFC Fight Night in Tampa. Boxing ring. Yeah, Garcia is just starting to open up now with a lot of short hooks from both sides. He's just covering up with his double high guard, waiting for the Punisher to throw and then trying to counter with uppercut or short left hook. And that's it. That's the round. That was the 8th round in TJ. I would give all 7 rounds to Jorge Garcia, the taller, lankier fighter, and 1 round to the Punisher, which was the first round. Have to give that first round to the Punisher because he was just by far the more active. But as soon as Garcia kind of got a read on the Punisher, he just started opening up. And he's really favoring those body shots. Unfortunately for him, one of them resulted in, or unfortunately for the Punisher, one of them was a little bit low this last round. I don't know that it was entirely below the belt line. It looked like it was partly on the belt line, partly below. But in any case, I mean, that's sort of bound to happen because Garcia is the taller, lankier fighter, and he's opening up with body shots on a shorter man. Jonathan is saying salute. Hi, how are you doing, Jonathan? Okay, back in the ring. We are in action. Double high guard by Garcia. Just waits for the Punisher to start throwing shots and then picks off a counter left hooks. Punisher, to his credit, keeps it coming. The thing is, whoever this guy, the Punisher, is, he's a workhorse, but he's technically not got like a lot of snap. He's rugged as heck. It looks like he can hit hard, but he's a little, I don't know, a little rough around the edges perhaps. He keeps switching stances, so that's what makes me wonder, you know, does he train in kickboxing or something other than boxing? Just because he likes to switch stances so much without being a very slick, as we say, fighter. Normally people who are workhorses don't, you know, switch stances so much because it's just not to your advantage. Yeah, the Punisher uses a lot of pushing jabs. He's not got a lot of snap on his punches, but he's durable and he's in good condition for sure. Okay, so again, we have some very nice footwork moves by Jorge Garcia. Again, double high guard coming in, tries to counter the Punisher with the left hook. Okay, at this point, seeing as Jorge Garcia is pretty much, you know, so far ahead on the cards, I mean, I would ask him to just work on certain aspects of his game that, his corner wants him to build on. When you're in a position where you're pretty much going to win a fight, a good corner will ask a little more of their fighter, because it's like, hey, look, this is a low risk situation. We need you to open up and try this drill or this move that we were working on in the gym. So, I think that's what they should be doing with Garcia, because obviously they're going to want him to step it up to the next level of competition. He's going to have other tools in his toolbox to get to that next level. Again, Garcia is just basically following the Punisher around, waiting for the Punisher to throw and then going for counter shots. It's been sort of the theme of the whole fight. The Punisher's completely agreeable to that scenario. He's just willing to throw leather. Oh, Jonathan says, I've been checking out your videos. Awesome job. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I always appreciate the positive feedback. Okay, so wide left hook from Jorge Garcia, and that's the end of that round. Okay, again, so at this point, we're about to head into the 10th round, but Jorge Garcia is winning every round but the first, as far as I would say. Hey, so welcome to everybody who's on this live stream. Always appreciate the thumbs up. Just click on that. Click on subscribe if you're into MMA and boxing and just other thought-provoking ideas. Please subscribe and hit the notification button so we can kind of try to stay one step ahead of the algorithm, and you will get notified whenever I'm doing a live or whenever I've posted a new pre or post-fight breakdown. As always, you guys are always welcome to leave a super thanks or share a gift on this stream. Gifts are a new feature YouTube's offering. I believe you purchase jewels in bundles, and then you can, I guess, just send a gift on these live streams. Right, so we are in the ring for the 10th and final round. Props to the Punisher for being in such great shape that he's lasted 10 rounds with the more skillful Jorge Garcia. Clearly, the Punisher is the B-side, right? But he's been well prepared in terms of conditioning, and certainly no lack of heart on his part. I would say just, like I said, I don't know why he's always switching stance, but, maybe he has a kickboxing background or an MMA background or something. He's got more of a wrestler-type physique than Garcia, who's definitely got that boxer's build, just long and lanky. Right now we have Garcia just opening up. Not sure if he wants to try to close the show here, but he's just throwing hard body shots, not even bothering to set things up with a jab at this point. Just walking the Punisher down and opening up with hard uppercuts and hard hooks. Punisher kind of backing up and moving around, circling away. Punisher's doing a lot of more lateral movement this 10th and final round. Lands a good little left hand. But a lot of the Punisher's punches are really more pushes than they are snappy punches. So I think that's another big differential here in this fight. All right, and with 1 minute left to go in this 10-rounder, Garcia is just walking to the Punisher, opening up right away with hooks, no jabs. Double jab there. I would be admonishing Garcia to be a little more disciplined with his punches. The crowd is loving this type of action, though. He's just swinging pretty hard at the Punisher. So we got 10 seconds left. All right, in the cage, We have Jacobe versus Patrino from Brazil. This is a light heavyweight fight, and we're just starting the first round. Both men just kind of moving around, looking at each other, feinting with their head, feinting, moving their hands around, but not actually throwing any strikes just yet. Final few moments of Garcia versus the Punisher. The men fall into a clinch. And that's it. The Punisher raises both hands in victory as if he thinks he won that fight. Interesting. Yeah, the Punisher's walking around in the ring with his hands raised. His corner's very happy with his work. All right, so in the UFC cage, two light heavyweights, not much action. Both men kind of just making stuttering motions, starting to throw single jabs, calf kicks now. Single jab from Jacobe. Both men making sort of stutter motions with their hands and their feet. Oh, Patrino opens up with a lead right hand, misses. Back to more sort of stutter motion, feinting in the light heavyweight division, the UFC Fight Night Tampa. Jacobe goes for a calf kick. Still not a lot of action from both these highly muscle-bound guys. Oh, and Patrino lands a hard one too. Tries to open up with a lead left hook. Patrino with a nice jab connecting. Jacobe throwing jab, hook. Doesn't quite land. And on the boxing, they're going back to showing some highlights from that boxing fight between the very long and lanky Jorge Garcia and the shorter, stockier Punisher. So we'll await the announcement of the result from that boxing match in a moment. Okay, UFC Tampa. We have two light heavyweights in the cage. Jacobe versus Patrino. Again, not a heck of a lot of action in this fight. Patrino just throws to a calf kick. Now the men are at closer range. Right at the edge of the cage. But now we're back in the center of the cage. Okay, and then we'll go back to the ring in Tijuana, waiting for the announcement of the results of this fight. And it looks like the winner is Jorge Garcia. Takes the unanimous decision. Yeah, I think he won pretty much every round but the first in that fight. So hopefully he learned a lot, because the Punisher was clearly an opponent brought in. So I hope he got a learning curve out of that fight. Okay, back in the cage. We got less than a minute to go. You have Jacobe attempting a head kick. Didn't land. Both men still sort of looking at each other. Oh, a Superman punch attempted by Patrino. Didn't land. Calf kick misses for Patrino. Both men doing a lot of feinting, faking motions, sort of stuttering motions with their head, their hands, and their feet. About 10 seconds left to go in the cage. Jacobe tries a single jab. Patrino misses with a head kick, and that is the round in the cage. So I'm going to assume that we'll get a little more action from both men in the second round. Certainly would like to see that. Okay, we're taking a break in the action in Tijuana, Mexico, with the boxing fight. Of course, the main event is Jaime Munguia versus somebody I don't know, Surace or something like that. All right, so if you're joining us, let us know who are your favorite fighters. Do you watch MMA? Do you watch boxing? Do you watch both? Who are your guys' favorite fighters of all time? All right, so on this top ranked card from Tijuana, next up we have Alan David Picasso from Mexico versus Jason Quail from Colombia, I think. That's also a 10 round in the junior feather division. Okay, we are starting round 2 of this light heavyweight match in Tampa, Florida. We have Patrino from Brazil versus Jacobe from the United States. Okay, right now we got Jacobe kind of circling around the perimeter of the cage with Patrino just kind of walking him down, staying on top of him. Jacobe's trying to come in with jab, and Patrino just opens up with a barrage of body punches. Jab. Again, we got Jacobe kind of using a lot of jittery motion, misses with a hard right hand. Lots of feinting from both men fighting from a very upright stance. Patrino doing a lot of kind of bouncing motions, whereas Jacobe's the one who's moving a little more laterally. Now both men right back to the center cage. Calf kick from Jacobe. Patrino just continually kind of walking him down, using head movement. But not a heck of a lot of action in this light heavyweight. Every time Jacobe goes to strike, Patrino just steps backwards to move out of the way. Comes back with a attempted hard counter. Now we have Patrino starting to open up just a little bit. Attempted calf kick from Jacobe. Attempted head kick from Patrino. Another attempted head kick. Patrino still very bouncy on the feet. Lots of jittery motions from Jacobe. He misses with a teep. Patrino's continuing to walk Jacobe down. So just from the sort of cage generalmanship, if you will, we would say that in such a action-less round, we'd have to give it to Patrino at this point. We've got just under 2 minutes remaining of this second round of this light heavyweight match. This is UFC Tampa. Undercard of Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. And right now with the Top Rank Boxing, they are on a commercial break. So tell me, if you're here, who are your favorite boxers? Who are your favorite UFC fighters? Okay, again, in this second round, I would have hoped for a little more action from both light heavyweight fighters, but that's not the case. It's really hard to say who's winning this match at this point because there's been such little action. Patrino definitely seems to be the part of kind of just applying pressure with his distance management, and then but he's only looking to counter whatever Jacobe throws at him. Not that I'm saying he should stand there and get hit, but at some point somebody's got to force the action. Oh, and Jacobe lands a good jab to Patrino, knocks Patrino's head back. We have just under 30 seconds in this UFC match. Attempted Superman punch misses by Patrino. Calf kick from Patrino. 10 seconds left. Lots of feinting by Jacobe, but not a lot of action. So Patrino throws the jab, and that's the round. We got one more to go, so let's hope they pick this up in the final round. Okay, so top ranked card in Tijuana. We are looking at the undercard of Jaime Munguia versus somebody named Saras. Giancarlo Xavier, hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. Guys, have any of you heard of gifts on YouTube live streams? Or do you know how you can purchase jewels? I don't even know how that happens, but I know that I've enabled it. So if you've gone ahead and purchased a bundle of jewels, you can drop them here as a gift. Who are you guys' favorite fighters? What fights are you looking forward to as we close out 2024? Okay, right now we're on a bit of a break in the action for both boxing and the UFC. Now we're about to start the third and final round of Jacobe from the US versus Patrino from Brazil. Oh, Sachin, hi, how are you? You're looking forward to Fury Usyk too? Yes, I think that's probably the fight to close out 2024. How do you guys have that one? Do you have Fury or do you have Usyk retaining his undisputed belts? Let me know. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about that one. Okay, in the cage, we have this light heavyweight match between Jacobe of the U.S. versus Patrino from Brazil. It's been somewhat of a lackluster matchup, certainly compared to the action in the ring for boxing and TJ. So hopefully both men in the cage will open up a little bit more in this third and final round. Okay, a little more body motion from Patrino now. They're a little bit fighting at a slightly closer distance than they did the first two rounds, so hopefully that means we'll get a little more action. Yeah, I wish, you can't just use posing and posturing to apply pressure. You also have to apply pressure with your strikes. Jacobe's throwing through a single jab again from Jacobe. Jacobe's the one that's kind of circling around, kind of switching stances from righty to lefty, and Patrino looks like he's just waiting to counter. Nice calf kick by Jacobe. Looks like he's going to go for a double, but doesn't. Nice overhand right. Now Jacobe does shoot in for a double, Patrino shoots in for a double, gets Jacobe down to the ground, but Jacobe scrambles, gets up. Patrino has the body lock from the rear, and Jacobe's facing the defense right now, kind of fighting Patrino's hands. Patrino's just, I think, trying to stay heavy. Oh, nice move by Jacobe. He circles around, but now Patrino has an underhook and an overhook Men break apart, and they're back in the middle of the cage. We've got approximately 2 minutes left in this light heavyweight match in the cage. Somewhat lacking in action. It's going to be hard to score this one due to the lack of action. Sachin is saying Usyk seems a big favorite. Not sure why. Perhaps literally because he's put on some size, and maybe folks feel that that's going to make the difference in this rematch versus Usyk. Okay, so we've got about 1.5 minutes left. UFC Fight Night in Tampa, Florida. Sort of disappointing fight between Jacobe versus Patrino. Patrino just tried another high-flying knee, which did not miss. Oh my goodness! And Jacobe throws a right hand that just puts Patrino out. Holy cow, 1-punch KO right in the 3rd round. That was unbelievable. That was completely unbelievable. It wasn't like Patrino was dominating the fight, but you could certainly argue that Patrino would get a decision. But Jacobe just found that one punch out of nowhere, landed it. Unbelievable. That's amazing because it didn't seem like he was really setting anything up. Yeah, that was a right hand right on the button. Patrino just face plants. Well, he rotates Patrino's body rotates around and then he face plants. Jacobe goes for a ground and pound, but the referee just swoops right in there before. So it looks like Jacobe maybe anticipated that Patrino was about to throw that left hook, and as Patrino opens up, he just clocks him right on the chin. It was a perfect shot, 1-punch KO. Okay, here we go with the boxing fight. We have, wow, this is going to be tough because both men have the same colored trunks on. We have Quail fighting out of southpaw stance versus Picasso fighting out of righty. So we'll assume Picasso's the A side since he's from Mexico and they're fighting in Tijuana, Mexico. Quail is, I believe, from Colombia. Both men fighting out with a double high guard and starting out well with the jabs. Picasso looks like he has a bit of a height and reach advantage over Quail. Picasso very disciplined behind his double high guard. Oh, nice long jab from Picasso. Quail trying to throw jab to the body, right to the head. Right now, Quail's on the outside, going around the perimeter. Sachin said, just as I said, disappointing fight. Oh, so Quail's throwing straight lefts to the body. I think that Quail's making, I wouldn't say he's making a mistake, but seeing as he knows Picasso has a height and reach advantage, Quail can't really afford to stay on the outside of Picasso's punches. Okay, nice straight left to the body by Quail. But Picasso's just kind of walking him down with jabs and straight right hands. I really feel like Quail would be better off starting things off with a jab and trying to roll under or weave under Picasso's punches. Okay, a very happy Dustin Jacobe in the cage with a perfect 1-punch KO. I won't say it was really come from behind because yes, it was kind of disappointing in terms of its lack of action. You could have argued that his opponent was winning the fight. Wouldn't have been by a huge margin, but props to Jacobe, props to Dustin for having that patience and presence of mind to see that, as it looks like Jacobe was going to go parry a punch and throw a left hook, and Dustin just caught him right on the chin with the right hand. All right, Sachin, are you watching the UFC fights or are you watching boxing? So, I'm very happy Dustin Jacobe getting props from Michael Bisping as well in the post interview in the cage. Okay, we're about to start the second round of the action in the ring in Tijuana. UFC, we're cutting to Rashad Evans in the crowd in Tampa, Florida. Okay, in the ring in Tijuana, we have Quail fighting out a southpaw stance, giving away the height and reach advantage to the very long, lean Picasso. Interesting. That, by the way, is, I think that is his actual last name. It's not, doesn't appear to be a ring name. Very nice straight right from Picasso. With that long, lean build, Picasso is throwing some very nice technical straight punches and short uppercuts. In a sense, I feel like Quail's trying to mirror him, but that's really not the right game for Quail to be playing with that double high guard on the outside. Jeff is asking, do I practice MMA? I do. I practice more boxing, or I devote more time and energy to boxing than MMA, but I do practice MMA. All right, nice jab, jab, right uppercut from Picasso. Picasso's got a very nice long jab, which is definitely his best weapon as someone who's that sort of long and lanky. Okay, there we go. Quail's now starting to weave underneath Picasso's punches, which is what I think he's going to need to do if he wants to close distance. Okay, Quail fighting a southpaw is doing well to throw a jab and then a straight left to the body, but he's got to come in closer to Picasso in order to score some, or not just score, but in order to land some meaningful punches. Suzerain is saying, hey, Hamaguchi, who would win with Deontay versus Joshua in their prime? That's ironic that you asked that now. Oh, we're taking a break in the boxing ring because Quail needs his shoe tied. Interesting. Interesting you asked that now because I think both Deontay and Joshua are damaged goods. But in their prime, that's a tough call. Even though I might edge to Anthony Joshua, maybe. Now, here's the issue with that. You know, we found out Joshua's kind of chinny. But in terms of technique, you know, maybe he does have, I think both fighters flawed fundamentally, but Joshua might be just a little bit ahead of Wilder in the technical department. Now, in his prime, of course, thing is Deontay had that crazy right hand. Suzerain is also asking, how long does it take you to do your hair? Not probably like almost zero, because I don't do much to my hair, is wash it and dry it. Okay, in the ring, but thank you very much for asking. I appreciate that. Back in the ring, we have Picasso. I would say Picasso's ahead on both rounds. Simply by utilizing his long jab, right hand. it's going to be a long night for Quail if he just continues this whole fight at the distance that he's fighting at. He's really got to throw punches to pull a punch from Picasso and then either weave or slip underneath and come inside. Okay, who do we have next on this UFC card? Yeah, it looks like we have some of the lighter weights. We have Manel Kopp, who used to fight for Ryzen. That's where I first saw him. Manel Kopp versus Bruno Silva. I don't really like Manel Kopp in terms of the persona that he's tried to project, but props to him for graduating from Ryzen to the UFC. Okay, back in the boxing ring, we have Picasso back on his very sort of measured jab. Quail also trying to throw out a jab from southpaw stance and then attempts to sort of come in and crowd. Well, Quail's now throwing wider punches, but Picasso was starting to open up. Oh my goodness, okay. Straight right from Picasso, body shot. So right now, Quail's keeping up a double high guard, which is good, but Picasso has him up against the ropes, and now Picasso's just starting to unload with nice short uppercuts. Quail throws back hard punches, but I don't believe he should stand there with a double high guard and ask Picasso to come in, Quail should be moving around a little bit more. He keeps dropping his hands and saying something to Picasso. Picasso's staying nice and disciplined with his double high guard, jab, left uppercut. Picasso reminds me of the people that were trained by Nacho Beristain, almost. Oh, nice body shot by Picasso while Quail is on the ropes in the corner. Quail's on one knee, referee's counting. And that is it. Quail does not get up from that body shot. He's just took the knee and stayed there. So props to Picasso for stopping that fight in round 3. Suzerain is asking, did you see Usyk on an interview mention that Joshua is top 3 heavy and better than Fury? It depends which Joshua we're talking about. I don't know if we're talking about Joshua in his prime or Joshua now. I don't think he's better than Fury. Suzerain saying, what about made Evander Holyfield so good with him being a smaller heavyweight? Well, Evander was a cruiserweight, right? And then he decided to move up to heavy. That's where the money's at. I think heart, I think technical skill, and I think endurance. But the number one thing I would pick for Evander would have to be just technical skill. He developed as a fighter. He didn't develop as a heavyweight. He developed technique as a smaller fighter and then bulked up to become a heavyweight and then brought that technique with him to the heavyweight division. Okay, so in the ring, we still have Quail on the canvas, taking his time to get up. Picasso just goes over to acknowledge him, but holy cow, 3rd round stoppage for Picasso with an amazing body shot. And it looks like Quail's corner is holding a bottle of Coke against his side. I'll assume it's actually a bottle with some ice in it, maybe. Try to help him out. All right, so Suzerain is saying, can you train to be that good, or was he naturally good? No, you have to train to be good. Natural is, natural vanishes when you're in the kitty pie division. Any kid who's supernatural will get away with that for just a little bit, but then eventually the person who's going to train hard is going to overtake them. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button. If you feel like leaving a super thanks, you're always welcome to do that. And we've now enabled gifts on the live stream. So if you're into that kind of thing, you can purchase a bundle of jewels. I think that's what they're called. And then you can shoot them out here on a live stream. And I guess I don't know what happens if they'll just show up visually. That'll be pretty cool. Who's going to be the first one to send a gift on one of the live streams? All right, in the cage, we have Bruce Buffer making the announcements. We have Manal Kopp. And the referee is Keith Peterson. All right, so we're about to start round one. In the cage, we have Manal Kopp versus Bruno Silva. Both men fighting out a righty stance, and right away Silva opens up with a couple punches. Now we have Bruno. Looks like Bruno's a bit of a switch hitter because he switched to southpaw for a moment there. Bruno fighting with open palm rather than closed fist. Bruno constantly switching, it looks like. Calf kick from Kopp. Bruno seems to be a very jittery fighter. Another calf kick from Kopp. Doesn't quite land. Bruno throwing out a lot of feint jabs and then comes with a big wide overhand right that misses. I'm not sure that fighting with one's hands open translates to well, and then you got to close your fist to make a fist, but so be it. Kopp using a lot of sort of upper body and head movement. Oh, there's not any strike for him to avoid. Oh, Kopp lands a nice 1-2 combination. Silva attempts to shoot in for double, but that Kopp just moves away from it. Kopp switching to lefty for a moment, now back to righty. Kind of showboating a bit with his hands down. Lots of jittery, wasted motion from Bruno Silva. Well, I shouldn't call it wasted, but I mean, I guess he's attempting to feint. And a little bit of kind of showboaty gestures from Manal Kopp. But Kopp does land a nice straight punch. And a left hook. Oh, nice straight right lands for Bruno. Both men fall into clinch for a moment and break apart. Okay, about halfway point through this first round. Looks like maybe a low blow on Manal Kopp, so the ref stops the action. Yeah, Bruno Silva threw a teep, or was it a rear kick that caught probably the upper part of Kopp's cut. Say that 20 times fast. All right, so both men now back in orthodox stance in the center of the cage, with Bruno Silva constantly switching stances. Now, when Manal Kopp switches, it's usually by stepping in for a kick. But Kopp seems to be mostly fighting out a righty stance. Calf kick from Kopp. Just under 2 minutes remaining. A lot of gesturing from both men. 3-punch combination lands for Cop, who tries a knee that does not work. Inside kick attempt from Cop. Again, looks like another low blow. Ref stops the action. We have just over a minute. Again, it looks like it landed on the belt line, but Cop makes a gesture, pulls at his belt line. Not sure. Okay, now both the action resumes. Silva opens up with a calf kick that lands. Lots of jittery motion from Silva still, kind of constantly switching stances as well. The thing is with a jab feint, you actually have to land a jab in order for someone to believe the feint. Right. Cop attempts a flying knee, gets stuffed. Another rear kick by Silva. Not a lot of effective action in this round either. So lots of motion, but not effective striking from either man. Flurry from Mal Cop as he kind of charges at Silva. Cop still very lively. Both men very lively. Cop doing more bouncing. Tries a reverse, a spinning back fist, which misses. I think Cop fancies himself a bit of a showboater, but it's fine and dandy if you want to do that. The point is you've got to be effective with something and land something. All right, so who do we have here on the live stream? We have Suzerain. Who else is here? Let us know you're here. Scissor G. What are my thoughts on Colby versus Buckley? Well, I'm definitely rooting for Buckley. I'm not a Colby fan, but also as of late, I just am not clear that him teaming up, say, with Chael Sonnen is the differential that he needs, right? He already comes from a strong wrestling background. Does he need Chael? I mean, I know Chael's been kind of a mentor to him, but Colby needs to address, we all need to address our weak points. For him, that would be the striking, not the wrestling. All right, Suzerain. I'm not sure what that emoji is, but it's all good. Any of you guys heard about GIFs on YouTube live stream? I got a notification, so I made it so that I can accept GIFs on live streams, but I actually have no idea how it works other than I think viewers can purchase bundles of jewels, and then I guess you send a GIF during a live stream and something visual happens. All right. Suzerain says, Deontay said he's fighting again. Would you rather see him fight Ngannou or Joshua? I don't want to see Joshua fight anymore either, so, I mean, and I definitely don't want to see Deontay fight again. So, I mean, that's a tough call because it's almost like if he's damaged goods, maybe he should fight other damaged goods rather than Ngannou, who isn't damaged goods yet. But honestly, I don't want to see either one fight. Sis, you definitely right in a technical aspect, but if it would be probably put Colby in best mental headspace, which mental plays a big part. Yeah, well, I mean, mental does play a big part. Oh, good right hand landed by Silva. Silva attempts a spinning elbow. Cop is starting to open up with his strikes, putting together a flurry right there. Now the action's back in the middle of the cage. Oh, another decent overhand right from Silva. Oh boy, another low kick, supposedly. Manel Cop now lying down on the ground, on the canvas, pulling at his trunks. Not sure how much of this is an acting skill, because in all honesty, it looks like the first two kicks didn't land low. They were, okay, that one definitely was low. It was well below the belt line. It was like on the, above the upper thigh, but below the belt line. So in any case, whether the first two were as bad, this third kick to the above the inner thigh on Cop was, that does look painful. Suzerain says, would consider Ngannou old? He's 38. Is that old? So here's the thing. It's not so much the number. It's also like, how many fights have you been in? How much punishment have you taken? You could have been in a ton of fights, but if they were all over within the scheduled distance, like if they're all over within a few rounds, then you probably didn't take a lot of punishment. All right, now the referee in the cage is taking a point from Silva for low kicks, low blows to Manal Cop. So the clock is on for Cop. I guess he has up to 5 minutes to recover. Right now we're at the just under 2 minute mark, and he's signaling to the ref that he's good. Ref's saying, double checking with him, and the action in the cage resumes. Okay, Silva attempts a spinning back kick, does not land. Lots of spinning motion from Silva. Cop is now starting to showboat a bit, dropping his hands, puts one hand behind his back, puts both hands behind his back, kind of telling Silva, come on. Calf kick and a 1-2 from Cop. Now Cop is really starting to showboat. Not something I'd like to see in the cage or in the ring, just because I think it's dangerous. Two, it doesn't do anything. If you want to show off by knocking your opponent out. Both men fighting with their hands open. I don't like that at all, but anyways, too much fainting in quotations from Silva. He just does a lot of jittery motions with his lead hand. But like I said, if you're not going to actually land a jab, then why would anybody bite on the feint? Suzerain is saying, who do I think will win between Dubois and Parker? That's a great fight. I might give that at this point to Dubois, just because I think he's on such a roll. He's got such great momentum. But then arguably, so does Parker. I think at this point, though, I think Dubois is slightly ahead technically, though. That's a I don't know. I would, in a way, that's a 50-50 fight, because Parker has tremendous heart, and he's got tremendous power, and he has improved his technique, especially with the new team he's working with. By new, I mean as of his last 3 fights. Okay, back in the cage, we have about a minute and a half left. Manal Cop lands a nice 2-punch combination. Calf kick for Bruno. Nice right hand by Bruno. Nice right hand by Cop. Both men now fighting out of orthodox. Good flurry by Cop. He drives Bruno Silva back. Both men back in the center of the cage. Oh, again, another nice right hand by Manal Cop. Not enough actual touching by Silva. He just does all this feinting motion, but he doesn't actually connect until he rushes in. We've got less than 40 seconds remaining. I would say Cop will win this based on the 1-point deduction. Oh, good 1-2 by Silva, but not quite enough. Good jab to the body by Silva. Calf kick by Cop. Cop switches to southpaw, then back to righty. Just way too much wasted motion from Bruno Silva, I would say. Suzerain saying you're probably right. And there's Bivol versus Beterbiev rematch. Yeah, I think Beterbiev still takes the rematch. I think Bivol really struggled to kind of switch up a little bit, and the main switch he did was with his guard, where he, instead of doing the traditional Eastern European guard with his lead hand kind of 90 degrees, and constant pawing motion, he knew that that's going to it's going to leave him open to a left hook, and Beterbiev has a great left hook, so then he and his camp decided to glue his jab hand to his forehead. But throughout the whole fight, you could see him making this motion like he wanted to do those pawing motions. So, it's like he's fighting himself a bit while he's doing that. Okay, in the ring in Tijuana, we have Rodriguez versus Compos. I think both of these fighters are from Mexico, so I don't know who the A side is. I guess whoever's signed to Bob Arum is the A side. Looks like Rodriguez is again, goodness gracious, both men wearing black trunks, so I don't know who's who here in terms of the trunks. Okay, here we go. Now I can see their names. All right, it looks like Rodriguez is a slightly shorter, thicker fighter, and Campos is the longer, leaner fighter. I'm going to assume Rodriguez is the A side. I don't know, though. Okay, so back in the cage. We're in the third and final round. Silva opening up now. Throws a hard right. Oh, Monal lands a couple punches, shoots in. Both men back on their feet. In your inside kick and right hand by Cop. Cop puts his strikes together very quickly. Oh, nice jab by Silva. Nice jab right hand by Silva. Yeah, I think Silva has to win big in this round if he wants to take the fight, because he has that point deduction. He may even need the stoppage or the submission. In this case, I would say stoppage, because there hasn't been any action on the ground. Oh, 2 body shots by Cop. He drives Silva back, but Silva comes back with a nice hard jab. Cop comes back with a jab right hand. Silva just is like one of those swimmer punches. He just walks in and throws his punches at the same time. I would definitely say Cop is a slightly more skilled striker. Drives Silva back. He might, oh, Cop is opening up. Silva's just covering up on the cage, crumples to the ground, and that's it. TKO by Manuel Cop in the third round. Yeah, the ref was right to stop that when a fighter just covers up and then crumples to the ground. It's kind of an indication they don't want to continue. All right, as much as I don't appreciate Manuel Cop's showboating and all of that, he wins that fight. Now he's talking at Dana White. Suzerain is saying, could Bivol or Beterbiev beat Michael Spinks? Oh goodness, I have no idea. That's a hard call when you're talking about people from completely different eras, because you never get to see them fight a common opponent or anything like that to force a comparison. All right, UFC Tampa, Manuel Cop is still talking to Dana White. All right, in Tijuana, we have the shorter, stockier Rodriguez kind of walking the much longer Ariel Campos, walking him down. Campos is one of those super tall or skinny, lanky, lean fighters. So Rodriguez kind of has his work cut out for him. I think it's Axel Compos, not Ariel. Axel Compos. So Compos is doing the right thing and to just sort of parry whatever Rodriguez throws and then get going with his jab. The one thing I don't like from Compos at the moment is he's making a lot of circling motions with his jab hand and then jumping straight back. Now he can get away with that because he's so long and lean, but if Rodriguez reads this correctly, he could throw between that circling motion that Compos is doing. Right now, Compos is just throwing single shots. Single jab, single uppercut, single jab. Okay, there he puts together a 1-2. A wide hook, misses, jab to the body, lands for Compos, for Rodriguez. Okay, and there's a break in the action in the ring, or in the cage, excuse me, at UFC Tampa. Suzerain says, do I think John Jones will retire now? I don't think so. I mean, I think he still has a little more to do. I think there's still fights that he wants. There's certainly fights that the fans want. Nice hard jabs from Rodriguez, but he's kind of winging his overhand right, which misses. He's kind of winging a wide left hook that misses. Compos is a little heavy on his lead foot. You know, someone who's so tall and lean, I understand there might be a little bit of awkwardness, but he doesn't need to be that heavy on his lead foot. Rodriguez is still throwing single shots, which is a bit of an error for him because he's missing. He's just hitting air. Oh, nice jab by Compos. Knocks Rodriguez's head back for a second. And that's the round. Oh boy, so Michael Bisping is talking to Mano Cop in the cage. Not a big Mano Cop fan myself, so I got him on mute. All right, so Juan Navarro is asking, is Buckley versus Covington on yet? No, it's not. We're still looking at preliminaries with Mano Cop, who just seems to not want to give the mic back to Michael Bisping. Michael is going to have to fight for the mic because Mano Cop's not giving it back. And Bisping's kind of got his hand on Cop's shoulder right now. Mano's gripping that microphone with both hands. Bisping has his hand on the bottom part of the mic. He's kind of looking outside the cage. I'm sure they're talking in Bisping's ears saying, get the mic back or something. Well, I guess I'm sure we'll hear Cop in his post-fight interview, I'm sure, at some point. Now he's talking to not sure who he is talking to. Anyways, back in the ring in Tijuana, we have the long, lean Compos facing the shorter, stockier Rodriguez. Compos kind of starting to do the right thing with his jab, seeing he's so tall and lanky. That's definitely what he should be. He should be pumping that jab in Rodriguez's face. Rodriguez keeps missing with that overhand right. He's got to close the diff, and his Rodriguez's wing and left hooks. Rodriguez needs to get a little bit closer and just focus on the body more than on the head. It's too early in the fight to throw Hail Mary punches, I would say. In any case, next up we have Billy Quarantillo, I think, versus Cub Swanson. Suzerain says, how do I like Kevin Holland? I like Kevin Holland. He's come a long way. He's taken some kind of rough losses, but even though he's, somebody who talks a lot of talk, I mean, I kind of appreciate his story, but overall as a fighter, I think he's developed since I sort of first noticed him. Okay, back in the ring, we got this very long, lean Compos versus the shorter, stockier Rodriguez. This is kind of one of those classic matchups, right? Where you got a much taller guy versus the sort of shorter, stockier guy. Not sure why Rodriguez is kind of showboating at the moment, but okay. Now it looks like Rodriguez is trying to weave underneath Compos's punches, but hopefully he's able to put something together. Compos just throwing single jabs at Rodriguez, which is kind of what all he needs to do at this point. Suzerain is saying, is he damaged goods? You mean Kevin Holland? Great question. Like I said, since he did take a couple of hard losses, it's hard to know. We kind of have to watch him over the next couple of fights. I don't think he's completely shot at this point, but yes, he's taken some tough losses. All right, and that's the round. Rodriguez is raising his hands. I guess he thinks he won that round. Now, here's an interesting observation for ring generalmanship. The last two rounds, Compos has managed to end the round in Compos's corner. That means Rodriguez is forced to walk all the way back, that diagonal distance. That's the longest distance in the ring. He's forced to walk back from Compos's corner to Rodriguez's own corner. The diagonal is longer than the side, right? So if you can manage to end the round in your corner, that's a true sign of sort of mastery, ring generalmanship, which is what Compos just did twice. Suzerain says, how do you know when a fighter is shot / damaged goods like Deontay and Joshua, or just a normal loss like Kevin Holland? Well, because you look at Deontay's performance and Joshua's performance in their last two fights, they looked worse than they did before. They acquire they revert to some really bad habits. Look at Deontay Wilder's. I did a whole breakdown. Find my breakdown on Deontay Wilder versus Parker, and I basically say I don't think Deontay Wilder should fight anymore. You could also check out my breakdown on Joshua. What was his last fight? Goodness. Joshua versus Dubois, pre-fight and the post-fight, and I kind of break down why I thought Joshua was damaged goods. When you start doing stuff that I would not want an aspiring amateur to do, that's a sign that you're shot. Okay, back in the ring in Tijuana, we have the short, stockier Rodriguez versus the taller Axel Compos. Now, again, I'm not sure who the A side is. I think it might be Axel Compos at this point. Compos is a very long, lean fighter. At this point, he's only been throwing single jabs, but it's kind of all he needs to do. This is the fourth of this 4-rounder, so these guys are just beginning their career as pro fighters. I don't even know what their record is at this point. I'm wondering if this is Compos's, probably has less than 5 fights. Oh, goodness. Rodriguez lands a punch that kind of staggers Compos for a moment. Now, the problem is for Rodriguez is when the distance gets closed, they fall into a clinch. And Axel Compos should, certainly since this is the last round, he should be putting punches together. I would be imploring him to do so if I were in his corner. If only that he can get practice at doing the right thing in a fight. Suzerain is saying, so losses can be good if you're not damaged goods. Well, I mean, a loss is never good, but I mean, if you're damaged good, you shouldn't be in the ring. Period. End of story. Like Wilder should not have been in the ring versus Parker. He just got really he took way too much punishment, and then he really took again he took even more punishment versus Zhang. So, is that necessary? Well, okay. In this fourth round, we have less than a minute to go. We have Rodriguez throwing very wingy single shots, meaning sort of uppercuts, overhand rights, and left hooks. And we have the Axel Compos just firing single jabs. So, to me, it looks like Axel is more of a beginner than Rodriguez, but Rodriguez is just not able to put together enough to get to Compos's body and head effectively. And Rodriguez is motioning for Compos to come in, but why would Compos do that? And that's it. That's that 4-rounder. Okay, that's the undercard of Jaime Munguia versus somebody I don't know. All right, what fights are you guys looking forward to? And even more importantly, do any of you guys know how to send gifts on a YouTube Live like this one? It's supposedly on YouTube vertical format lives. You can send gifts, not GIFs, GIFTS. All right, here we go with Cub Swanson versus Billy Quarantillo. Okay, Cub Swanson, the veteran UFC fighter. Hi, Suzerain. Cool. Good to see you. Oh, nice. That's very cool. So I guess you know how to do that. It's awesome. Am I supposed to do anything? I don't know how to react properly. Tell me. All right. So here we have Swanson and Quarantillo starting to mix it up a little bit. Both men fighting out of righty stance. Quarantillo switching to lefty. Much better technical fight than the previous one. Calf kick to right hand to head kick from Swanson. Rear kick from Quarantillo to right hand. Swanson tries a 1-2. Quarantillo misses a calf kick. Susan's telling me, I don't know, to be honest, LOL. You can make some. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how to type on this while I'm doing the live. But thank you so much for all those. That's so cool. Did you pick all those? Okay, in any case, back to the action. I think they're going to give this to Axel Campos only because I think he might be the A side. Whoever the A side is in this fight, that's who's getting the decision in this 4-rounder. All right, back in the cage. Cub Swanson, Quarantillo. Cub with a nice calf kick. Here, even though when there's lulls in the action, you can tell both men have a far better skill set than Kopp and Silva in terms of the striking. Nice feint to right hand of the body by Swanson, who weaves under Quarantillo's punches. Swanson with the lead right uppercut. Straight right. Jab to the body from Swanson. Quarantillo goes to throw a kick and slips a little bit. Swanson opening up. Swanson with the lead right. Head kick attempt. Quarantillo now fighting a righty again. In the cage, a little lull in the action here with just under 2 minutes to go. But very technical so far. Rather see a technical fight with less action than horribly flawed technical. with and showboating with less action, like which is what Cop was doing. Anyways, nice jab to the body by Cub Swanson. Okay, and the decision goes to the long, lean Axel Compos, who certainly has quite a bit of work to do in the boxing gym. Oh, good 1-2. Lands for Swanson, kind of knocks Quarantillo. I mean, here's what I'd say about Axel Campos. Okay, it's nice. You have the height and the reach advantage. We know you can land the jab. Okay, now put something behind the jab, for goodness sakes. Either double up on it, triple up on it, change the rhythm, do something with that jab, and then drop in a right hand, left hook. All right. We got less than a minute here. Oh, goodness. Quarantillo lands good hooks and right hands on Club Swanson. Swanson weaves under one of Quarantillo's left hooks. This is really a nice technical striking mix-up. Body shots by Swanson, both men mixing it up. We got less than 20 seconds to go. Calf kick from Swanson. Quarantillo comes right back. Tries to shoot in for a double. And he gets a double right at the fence. But Swanson's able to scramble up, get to the feet, and that's the round. That was a great round, close round to call. Not sure if who we give that to. To me, I felt like Swanson won more of the fight with the striking, but you got to give props to Quarantillo for getting that double right at the end of the round. Okay, I see. Susan says you can make some. I have gifts for Discord server. I can send you some. Interesting. You have to manual upload it since you're channel owner. Okay. Huh. Well, thank you so much for shooting those over. That's kind of cool. I'm like I said, I'm gonna have to do more research on this whole gifts thing. As always, you guys, if you want to leave a super thanks, those are always welcome. If you like the breakdowns, if you like these live streams, hopefully the breakdowns help you. If you're listening to the pre-fight, maybe that helps you figure out how you want to place your bets. Post-fight, it's always good talking with everybody on what they thought of the fight action. Okay, thank you so much for all that, Susan. I really appreciate it. Okay, back in the UFC Tampa, we are in the second round of Cub Swanson versus Billy Quarantillo. Great first round, great technical striking from both men. Okay, lead left hook, or lead right hand from Cub Swanson. Quarantillo kind of switch hit here. Oh, now Cub switches to lefty and then righty again. Very interesting. Great footwork from both men. Couple of lead right hands and then lots of rolling underneath by Cub. Quarantillo presses Cub back to the cage. Has got a high single. Cub posting on Quarantillo. Manages to escape. Men are exchanging strikes. And Cub lands a nice 1-2. Another right hand. Jab. Gets into a clinch. Swanson has the underhook on the left. Quarantillo tries a knee to the body. They break apart. Back to the striking in the middle of the cage. Nice jab by Cub Swanson. I'd say Swanson at the moment is winning this fight. Nice to see it. A veteran like Cub Swanson still has it. You know, nice upper torso movement by Cub Swanson to avoid strikes from Quarantillo. Quarantillo's now working on knees and kicks, mixing that in with his strikes. Quarantillo in has Cub against the cage. Quarantillo has an underhook and overhook, using his head to apply pressure. Cub has one underhook. He's just trying to throw knees. Quarantillo tries an elbow, uppercuts, right hand. Cub comes back with a hook. Quarantillo landed some good strikes there in the exchange on the cage. We're back clinching, and Cub has one underhook. Oh, now they break apart. Back to striking. Quarantillo right back with a jab. Nice jabs from Quarantillo and from Cub Swanson. Swanson throws a lead right hand and then gets an underhook. Okay, I think we are getting ready for the main event of Mungia versus, I'm not sure how to say his name, Saras. Right, in the cage, Quarantillo again has Cub Swanson against the edge of the cage. He level changes down for a double, gets Cub down, but Cub is seated, in a seated position, gets to his feet. Now Quarantillo has a body lock from behind. He's trying to throw knees to Cub's thighs. Quarantillo has a body lock from behind. Switches, Cub reverses position. Gets Quarantillo off. Now they're back to the striking. Nice double jabs by Cub Swanson. Good jabs from Quarantillo as well. Very nice striking action. Even though it's not technically, say, boxing correct, it's good MMA striking. Definitely high-level MMA striking. Again, Quarantillo gets towards the cage and shoots in for a double, but Swanson stuffs that. He's trying to work. Swanson's working with Quarantillo on the ground in kind of an awkward position. Now Quarantillo gets Swanson's back, but just a body lock. Swanson's back is on the cage. Both men are mixing strikes in with the grappling. Quarantillo goes for the foot stomp, tries to strike the head. They break apart, and they're back to the striking in the center of the cage. And that is the round. Wow, great action between Cub Swanson and Billy Quarantillo. High quality stuff. So much better than Manal Cop versus Bruno Silva. Levels and levels. These guys are black belts. Those guys were like yellow belts or something. Although Manal Cop might be a black belt at hogging the mic from Mike Bisping. No idea what he said. I have no idea what Manal Cop said in his post-fight interview, but I'm sure we'll hear shortly, or it's probably already posted on IG or something. All right, so we are ready for the main event in Tijuana, Mexico. We have the hometown hero, Jaime Munguia, is making his ring walk. Interesting because it looks like in his case, he gets to walk to the ring with his corner. I don't know if you guys have noticed this trend lately of fighters doing the ring walk by themselves. I don't know what the deal is with that and why they're doing that, but Ankit Verma. So Manal Cop called out Pantoja. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, so we're back in the cage. Great fight between Cub Swanson and Quarantillo. I sure hope they get a bonus because this is terrific high-level action, you know. Regardless of who wins this fight, this is very technical striking from both men. Excuse me. So we have Quarantillo's kind of opening up this round with a number of kick attempts. Swanson doing some switching and striking. Oh, nice right hand by Swanson. Calf kick from jab to the body right hand from Quarantillo. Jab by Quarantillo. these are great technical exchanges. Feint jab, jab, right hand from Swanson. A little shoulder roll from Swanson. Calf kick. Again, Quarantillo shoots in for the double. Swanson's got his back against the cage. Swanson's looks like he's pretty much stuffed it. Gets a headlock on Quarantillo. Quarantillo's persisting with the single, but Cub gets out. Back to the striking action. Nice jab by Quarantillo. Jab right hand. Straight right from Cub Swanson. Oh my goodness. Wow. Jab right hand from Cub Swanson just drops Billy Quarantillo straight on his back. And that's it. The ref waves it off immediately. Wow. A 1-2 from Cub Swanson. That is quite the performance. That is incredible. Congratulations to Cub Swanson. Whoa. Ankit says that was bad. Yeah, that was crazy. Good job by Cub. He just put those two punches together so smoothly. Good for him. See, the thing about that is those were not like Hail Mary punches. Those are just perfectly placed. Okay, my bad. It was a left hook right hand, not a jab right hand. That's one of my favorite combinations, left hook right hand. So you've got that double whip of your opponent's head, right? The left hook just sets them up, opens up the chin, right for the right hand to come straight down the pike, as we say. Even though that right hand doesn't have to be straight down the pike. That was beautiful. That's masterful. That's a masterful striking. So I don't think Quarantillo knew what happened there. He was kind of, I mean, understandably, you know, he was speaking back to the referee. He was probably just telling him, hey, just stay down, you know. Very emotional for Cub Swanson. Good for him, man. That was incredible. Perfect left hook right hand. And the two fighters hug it up in the center of the cage. And we're about to get the official announcement from none other than the yelling Bruce Buffer. Okay, and in Tijuana, Mexico, we have hometown hero Jaime Munguia ready in his corner. Gosh, Jaime looks like he's about 14 years old, right? He's just got such the baby face. It's crazy. How old is he really? He'll probably look like he's 20 when he's 40 or something. I don't know. So he's 29, it says, I think. Okay, now we have Michael Bisping talking to Cub. Fortunately for Michael, Cub's not grabbing the microphone from him. They're showing us the stats that Cub Swanson has the third most finishes in UFC featherweight, in the UFC featherweight division. Well, I'm happy for Cub Swanson. He's certainly a veteran of the game. He's given the UFC a lot. And for him to score, or for him to land that perfect left hook hand is just, you know, that's why you need to have legit boxing hands. Congrats to Cub Swanson. I'm sure he'll get a bonus, but I really think, I feel like Quarantillo deserves a bonus too, because that was a great fight. I mean, no matter who won that fight, I feel both men put on a terrific display of high-level striking and high-level MMA. So hope, yeah, I hope Quarantillo gets something monetarily as well. All right, so here we go in Tijuana. Bell's about to ring for Jaime Munguia versus, I think it's Saras. Is that how you say his last name? In round one. Yeah, go Mungia, Gil is saying. Showcase fight for the hometown, for sure. Okay, so here we have both men fighting out of righty. Mungia with his nice high double guard, using upper body motion. Saras starting right away with his jab. Measured jab, single jabs. Mungia also throwing single jab and just moving around, getting a feel. Suzerain saying, do I think Garcia will win his fight? Oh, okay. Then that got erased. All right, so now it looks like we're cutting to Joaquin Buckley warming up with his boxing coach. And now we're cutting to commercial for the UFC. In the ring, we have Saras versus Jaime Munguia. Jaime using lots of bending motions at his torso to just kind of feel out Saras. Then he throws a single jab. Saras returning the favor, just throwing single jabs at this point, but less upper body motion from Saras. Would Mungia beat Plant? Yeah, I mean, if provided Mungia comes in good shape, I think Mungia can beat Plant. I'm not a big Caleb Plant fan, so all right. All right, so Saras tries a jab, right hand to the body. Saras is the one kind of moving around the perimeter of the ring. Mungia kind of holding center and just kind of moving with Saras. Again, a 1-2 attempt from Saras as he moves one way and then laterally and then the other way laterally. A 1-2 attempt by Saras, but Mungia blocks it with his forearms. Mungia gets Saras in the corner, unloads a few punches. Saras clinches. Mungia kind of throws a shoulder at him, and that's the round. It's main event time. I know I know you hate Colby, but who you really think is going to win? It's not about hating Colby. It's just never mind his persona. Here's what I'll give him: good conditioning, not as good striking. I guess it's not that I hate him. I just don't think that he's worked hard enough on his striking. And I mean, you're speaking to somebody who came from a judo background and switched over to boxing. I mean, I understand how much it takes in order to switch from one type of sport, whether it's grappling to becoming striking or striking to go to grappling. You've really got to work at that second thing that you pick up. So I just don't think he's put in enough, and he's, at a world-class fighter level, you got to be willing to work on your weaknesses. Okay, so Suzerain saying, how come you're not a Plant fan? I mean, I never was a Caleb Plant fan, really. He just doesn't impress me. I mean, he's good, but I don't feel he's as good as he believes he is. Okay, that said, we're back in the ring in Tijuana. lots of upper body movement from Mungia now, sort of leaning forward to the side, to the side. This is going to help him slit punches or weave under. I think he's just trying to see what Saras is going to throw. Saras comes with a lead left uppercut, right hand. Mungia staying very disciplined behind a double guard and kind of feinting with his feet. Oh my goodness! Right hand left hook from Mungia sends Saras crashing to the canvas. I'm not even sure if he'll beat the count or not. Oh, he beats the count. The ref tells him to hold up both hands, wipes his glove off on his shirt, but holy cow, so Mungia just using his upper body motion, backs Saras back up. Saras, right hand, left hook to the body from Mungia. And there's still a minute 30 left in this round. It's a ton of time. So again, Mungia coming in, has got Saras against the ropes. Saras throws back. Saras back to the middle of the ring. Mungia still using that upper body motion, throws a jab. Parries Saras's jab. Saras trying to navigate the perimeter, throws single jabs, moves laterally the other way. But now Saras is against the ropes. Barrage from Mungia. Saras circles out. Mungia parries Saras's jab. I think Mungia just knows he just has to be patient, that his time will come. Gil says, bet the house on Buckley. Okay, Buckley's making his walk to the cage right now. Suzerain says, what is Plant's weaknesses? I would say Plant's biggest weakness would have to be sort of mental or outlook. Look at his fight versus Canelo. Okay, so now we got Mungia backing Saras up against the ropes. And that's the round. Okay, so obviously Mungia's up in this fight, managing to drop, or not managing, but dropping his opponent right away in the early rounds. If you look at that fight of Plant versus Canelo, oh, and jumping back to that fight with Mungia, it was a left hook that dropped Saras to the floor. Right hand, maybe opened him up with a right hand. Yeah, welcome to Mexico, Saras. Exactly, Jill. I think Plant's weakness, in that fight versus Canelo, he's talking to Canelo like, I'm pretty good, right? Like, it's just, there's something off with that whole business of him just trying to move around and avoid Canelo and then talking to him. All right, we're back in the ring in Tijuana. Saras is opening up with single jabs. Oh! Falls to one knee or slips, and the ref waves it off, tells the corner to wipe up the water. Looks like there's plenty of water in Mungia's corner. Okay, again, Saras with the single jab. Mungia just walking him down with lots of upper torso motion. Left hook to the body, left hook to the head. I think Mungia's just planning on being patient here, picking his shots, and I think he will KO Saras very shortly. Suzerain saying, oh, like weak-minded. Yeah, just off-minded. There's something just off about Plant. Gil saying Saras using reverse. Okay. Do you mean Saras is going in reverse? Right, oh my goodness. So we got Colby Covington making his cage walk with Chael Sonnen and... Really? Okay. Back in the ring in Tijuana, nice jab to the body by Munguia. Saras is circling around the perimeter of the ring. He's backed himself into the corner. That's where Mungia can kind of start to unload. Mungia lands a nice body shot to the left. I think Mungia is really trying to go for that left body shot. Jab right hand. Ooh, that stunned Saras. Saras comes back with his own 1-2. Now Saras is against the ropes. Saras again throws a couple punches to get off the ropes, but now he's starting to circle around again. Mungia just staying patient. Double high guard for Mungia. Lots of upper body movement. Single jab from Mungia. Saras still circling the perimeter. Mungia just kind of throwing out single jabs. Single jab from Saras. Left hook from Mungia. Jab. Mungia nice and live on his feet. Taking small disciplined steps. Jab right hand. Body shot. Left hook from Saras. Okay, in the cage we have Covington getting greased up by the corner man, and that's the round for that's the round between Mungia and Saras. Okay, now Covington's about to enter the cage. Does a little somersault to get into the cage. Gil's saying, yellow's in fashion in TJ tonight. Yeah, that's funny. Yes, Mungia is wearing yellow trunks and gold gloves. And then Saras is wearing these fluorescent yellow boots and like black trunks with the fluorescent yellow highlights. Okay, so got both men back in the ring, back in action. Jab, jab, right hand from Saras. At least Saras has still got live feet and he's moving around the perimeter. Unfortunately for him, I think it's just a matter of time before Mungia lines up a shot. Mungia has Saras in the corner. Saras just has a double high guard. Manages to circle out of the corner, but still got his back towards the ropes. In the cage in Tampa, Florida, we're hearing the fighters being announced. Okay, in the ring in TJ, we got Jaime Munguia versus Saras. Saras is still the one moving around the perimeter while Munguia is kind of holding the center of the ring. Left body shot, left hook to the head, right hand, jab, right hand. These are all the shots that Munguia is unloading on Saras while Saras has his back on the ropes. Saras comes off the ropes. The men are back in more or less center of the cage. But now at close quarters, Munguia is able to throw a body shot, a head shot. Saras is definitely in, as Gil said, retreat mode. He's moving laterally instead of just moving straight back, but again, now Mungia has him against the ropes. And it feels like it's Mungia just that lets him off the ropes. A lot of Mungia's exchanges are starting off with a left body shot. Oh, left uppercut from Saras and right hand. Seems to catch Mungia a little bit off guard there. Oh, another left body shot to jab, right hand by Mungia. In the cage, both men come to center of the cage and then back up, and we're about to start with Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Oh, interesting reversal here. We have Saras and Mungia had his back against the ropes for a moment. Okay, back to center, and now that's the end of the round. So Saras raises his hands as if, hey, he thinks he won that round. Right, in the cage, both Buckley and Covington are fighting out of lefty stance. And both men are getting right at it. Side kick attempt from Buckley. Lots of feinting motions from both, but much more sophisticated than Silva and Kopp. Buckley kind of momentarily switches to righty and then back to lefty. Buckley opening with a couple double jabs. Colby kind of feinting a kick. Throws a single jab. Buckley much more lateral movement. Jab lands well for Buckley. Okay, and the action is resumed in Tijuana, Mexico. Jaime Munguia versus Saras. Jaime keeping Saras moving around the perimeter of the ring, using his jab very effectively. Gil says, go Buckley. Yep, I think a lot of us are rooting for Buckley. Looks like an uppercut landed well for Buckley right there. Buckley circling around nicely. Inside kick, jab, left hand for Buckley. Colby tries a couple jabs, but they fall short. Colby comes in for a takedown. Buckley stuffs it, walks away. Both men resume on their feet. Jab, jab, left hand for Buckley. Okay, in the ring in TJ, Mungia still holding center. Saras backs up, double high guard, still moving around the perimeter. That's Saras. Mungia, jab, right to the body, left hook. Okay, Buckley picking it up a little bit in the cage. Looks like there's already a cut over Colby's right eyebrow area. Jab, high kick for Buckley. Side kick for Buckley. Buckley certainly has the more live feet. Bouncing, level changing. Body shot, overhand left for Buckley. Colby throws a kick. But it's almost as if Colby's just throwing to throw to try to close distance and get a takedown. Okay, in Tijuana, Mungia had Saras against the ropes and was starting to unload. Eases off. In the cage, we have under 2 minutes left in this 5-minute round in the cage. Buckley still hunting Colby down. Colby tries a head kick and a punch combination, single jab from Colby. Oh, good jab body shot from Buckley. Or sorry, good straight left body shot from Buckley. Head kick by Colby doesn't land. Jab by Colby doesn't land. Buckley still circling around, using good lateral movement. Gil says Colby's time is up. Could very well be. Colby tries for a double, but Buckley stuffs it right against the cage. And then TJ, it looks like Mungia is kind of closing in on Saras. And that's the round. All right. Colby's persisting with the grappling here. Buckley's just stuffing it. They go to the ground. Buckley stands back up, and the action resumes in the cage on the feet. Jack Shaw says, will MMA work on a black bear? Depends on who's doing the MMA and depends how big the black bear is. Oh, nice straight left by Buckley, landing on Colby. Not sure why. Okay, here we go. Head kick attempt from Buckley. Yeah, and now Colby's right eyebrow is bleeding pretty bad. Oh, and Buckley drops Colby, gets the ground and pound. Colby's what was that the end of the round? Or was that the fight? No, that's the end of the round. Okay, so wow, that was close. If there had been a few more seconds, Buckley may have been able to end it right there. So that looks like almost like it was like these takedown attempts just look like an act of desperation kind of from Colby. In any case, we're back in the ring and the action is resumed in Tijuana, Mexico with hometown hero Jaime Munguia putting on a show sort of versus Saras. I mean, he's clearly dominating Saras technically. If he doesn't get a knockout, I'm not sure what to say here. He was able to drop him in the second round. Gil is saying, how you ever see a guy dab his eye this much, only making it worse. Yeah, well, maybe he wants it to get stopped on cuts. I don't know. All right, jab right hand, or jab left hand by Colby. Wide right hook by Colby. Kick. Another jab right hand by Colby. See, what Colby's missing is really the distance. He's not really measuring distance well with his strikes. Okay, lots. Triple jab to body kick by Buckley. Buckley's still circling around. Oh, jab by Colby knocks Buckley's head back, shoots. Colby shoots in for takedown. Buckley stuffs it. Now Buckley had Colby versus against the cage there for a moment. This is a much more enlivened Colby this round. And back in TJ, we have Jaime Munguia taking on Saras. We have about a minute left in this round. Oh, we are in the 6th of 10 rounds. Double jab, right hand from Mungia. I don't know. Do you think Mungia is going to face a lot of criticism if he doesn't KO Saras? Double jab, right hand attempt by Saras, misses. Mungia maintaining his double high guard and just kind of walking Saras down using that upper body movement. Left hook, body shot. Oh my goodness! Saras floors Mungia. Holy crap. Right flat on his back. Is Mungia going to beat the count? This is not... Oh my god! Jaime Munguia gets TKO'd by Saras. Okay, I called that completely wrong because I thought Munguia was going to KO him at any given point, but holy crap, whoever bet on Saras, congratulations, because he must have been a huge underdog. That is freaking shocking. Holy crap. Well, congratulations to Saras. Now back in the cage, Colby has Buckley on the canvas. Looks like he's trying to get the body lock. Buckley's kind of on. Okay, now Buckley's on his back. Colby's in. I can't tell if he's in half guard. Looks like he's in Buckley's half guard. Yes. But Colby's got top position. So, and it looks like Colby's going to try to just worm out of this half guard. 2:17 left in this round, so there's lots of time yet. And an incredibly emotional Saras in the ring. Understandable. That nobody thought that was gonna happen. Holy cow. Saras did not read the script. Okay, back in the cage in Tampa. Um, both men are back on their feet. That gash over Colby's eyes is leaking pretty well. Joaquin landing a nice 1-2. We got under 2 minutes remaining. That sucks for Mungia, man. How embarrassing is that? Did Mungia underestimate? I think he took his foot off the gas a little bit. He lost focus a little bit, which is crazy. Shot right hand by Mungia with Surace against the ropes with a double high guard. Surace didn't look like a heavyweight. Well, no, I mean it's not about him being that much bigger. I mean, he landed a perfect right hand. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, Mungia just relaxed too much, didn't have his guard up. All right, back in the cage. There's a little bit of a lull in the action. Yeah, Colby keeps touching his bleeding eyebrow. Nice left hand, double jab by Buckley. Attempted jab left hand by Colby. Inside kick. Oh, goodness. Double jabs by Buckley, just knocking Colby's head back. We have less than 20 seconds left. Buckley's just starting to open up a little bit with his striking. Switches to righty and tells Colby, come on. Buckley throwing high kicks as well. And that's the round. Ref not making it home tonight. LOL. That's funny. I don't know. Jab, right hand for Saras. That was like the picture perfect right hand. Mongia needed to be more responsible defensively. I don't know. Do you think he could have carried on? Yeah, maybe the ref needs some armed guard protection on his way home. That's pretty funny, Gil. That is crazy, right? This was supposed to be just a gift from Mungia. Wow, that sucks. Okay, and back in Tampa, Florida, we've got a... Goodness, how many cuts does Colby have at this point? Oh, no, he just wiped it again and made it worse. Okay, so I can't tell. I think there's a cut under his eye and maybe one up here. Yeah, Mungia was laid out flat on his back. It's kind of an overhand right that caught Mungia perfectly on the chin. All right, and back in the cage, the action's really starting to pick up here, or the action picked up immediately here. We got Colby Covington just bleeding from that right side of his eye. Buckley opening up with jabs. Nice level changing by... Oh, nice jab. Just knocks Colby's head back. Jab to a kick. Colby trying some spinning kicks. Joaquin kind of laughing at him. Nice jab by Colby. Good combination of left hand, right body shot, right hook by Buckley. Again, Colby shoots in. Buckley stuffs it. Goes for a little ground and pound. Buckley has Colby in full mount now. He passed from half guard to full mount. Then Colby returns. Buckley gets up. They're back on their feet, and Buckley's just going to pick up. Looks like he's just picking. Oh, goodness. He landed a hard jab that really rocked Colby. Hard jab left hand that rocked Colby. My goodness. Colby's face is just all red at this point. Colby does land a decent punch, but Buckley's unfazed. I think he knows he's got Colby's. I think he knows he's kind of broken Colby at this point. Colby throws a straight left. Much more stationary at this point. Buckley's just walking him down. Again, Colby shoots. Buckley stuffs it. These are just desperation shots by Colby. Turns on his back. Turns again. Buckley just... Again, Colby kind of staying on all fours and trying to grab for something. Again, these aren't attempts that are actually going to do something. They're just sort of neutral position-ish. Right. Buckley takes the action towards the edge of the fence. Bit of a scramble. Buckley back on his feet. Colby still staying on all fours. Buckley goes around, takes Colby's back for a moment. Oh, it looks like Buckley's looking for a triangle while Colby's on all fours still. Can't really see what's going on, but Buckley does have the triangle locked in. Oh, Colby loosens his head out now. Colby is in Buckley's full guard. And there's just blood everywhere, so I'm sure it's pretty slippery. So Buckley has full closed guard. Colby's staying, has top position. He's trying to just pepper Buckley with body shots. And every now and again he switches to hitting Buckley in the head, but not effective strikes. And that's got to be slippery as heck with Colby's blood just all over. Colby might ride this out in this position. It's better than him getting exchanged. This is better for Colby than to try to stand and strike, but I don't think he'll get a finish from this position. Okay, so now Colby works his way up to his feet. Buckley scrambles back to the cage, so Buckley's now sitting with his back to the cage. Buckley's turning, he's on his feet. Buckley has a wizard grip, Colby has an underhook. Buckley very smartly and skillfully used the fence to work his way up. Colby's applying that pressure with his head and shoulder. Then he level changes back down. I mean, you're not going to get the double from there. And again, this is all just sort of him killing time, I think. Okay. Oh, nice knee attempt by Buckley. And both men are back on their feet. Referee stops the action. I think he's walking the... He just... the referee kind of looked at him in disgust, looked at Colby in disgust and said, you know, you're a mess or something. Or she's questioning. Okay, so the doctor's looking at Colby and kind of shaking her head. And that's it. The fight's getting called because Colby's just a mess. Well, technically speaking, it's because they're saying, hey, he can't see out of that right eye. So, yes. Ro Boito said Colby is a bloody mess, for sure. Well, that was the fight right there. I mean, that, to be fair, that right eye is also starting to swell. So, congrats to Joaquin Buckley. Regardless of the stoppage, I think Buckley was winning the fight. So, I'm sure Colby will have plenty of rhetoric about this, but I'm not really interested. I don't know about you guys. All right, so congratulations to Bruno Saras, whom I've never heard of until tonight. He knocked Jaime Munguia out in Jaime's backyard. That is crazy. Is he from France? I don't even know where Bruno Saras is from. All right, so back in the cage, holy cow, Buckley's corner has to wipe him to try to get all the blood off. So, guys, was that the upset of the year or upset of the month for sure? But who saw that coming? All right. Do you guys think Mungia deserved to get stopped? Do you think if we gave him a slow count, he could have gotten back up and won the fight? What about Kobe? Do you think he deserved to get stopped? Do you think he had any hope of winning that fight? I personally don't think Kobe had a shot at winning that fight. I think all his shots were sort of acts of desperation. I'm going to unmute this and let's see if we can hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, based on the doctor's advice, referee Dan Munguia has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 42 seconds of round number 3.
So there were about 17, 18 minutes left in the third round. It looked like Colby had at least a couple cuts under the eye and maybe somewhere up here. So Joaquin is apologizing for not getting the knockout. Wow, that guy is built. Gil is saying, thank you for tonight. Good fights. Much appreciated. You got it, Gil. Remember, you guys are always welcome to leave gifts. You're welcome to leave super thanks, either on the live stream or on any of the videos that you enjoy. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts on this live stream. This has been almost 3 hours, so I'm going to call it a night in a couple moments. I can't really understand what Joaquin Buckley is saying in his post-fight interview, but maybe I'll do a recap of everything tomorrow, because this was certainly unexpected. Yeah, it was a jab overhand right that just knocked out Jaime Munguia in his own backyard. Wow. All right, so to be continued maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure that I will do a really extended post-fight breakdown just because we did the live. But what I will do is we will certainly post this live. I will try to break it up with chapters so you don't have to listen to the whole live. You could just click on the timestamp for the fights that you're interested in. Omar says, I'm flabbergasted. Yeah, I cannot believe Jaime Munguia got KO'd in his hometown. That's crazy. And really, I thought he was going to win the fight, especially after he dropped Saras in the second round. So, in any case, guys, I'm a little parched, so I'm going to call it a night. I truly, truly appreciate you guys attending this live stream. Like I said, you're always welcome to leave gifts. You're welcome to leave super thanks on the channel. And I will see you guys next time. So have an awesome rest of your weekend. See you soon.